Fun facts about Halloween 2020. Halloween this year will fall on a full moon. There will also be an extra hour on Halloween at 2 a.m. because of daylight savings. And it's on a Saturday.
She must have been out of her head. Here it is.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 8. Pigs will eat literally anything. There are stories of pigs entering farmhouses and eating newborn babies. Speaking of babies, doctors believed that they didn't feel pain until 1987, so they would operate on newborns without anesthesia. Whistling was a way in which people would summon demons in ancient times. In 1968, every single TV in America shut down for 25 seconds, and there was a sound broadcasted on all of them that many believe was the devil's voice. People born deaf with schizophrenia often see disembodied hands signing them as opposed to hearing voices. A mysterious skeleton only 6 inches long was discovered outside a ghost town in Chile. It was declared to be human and lived for as long as 8 years.
Have you seen this? This is located in the airport in Amsterdam, where there is a man who is stuck in a clock and he paints the minutes and hour hands of the clock constantly. He paints the time carefully and then makes sure it's perfect, just so you can read it. Then when the minute is up, he changes and erases the clock hands and paints the new time on there. Wait until this man finds out that most people don't use clocks anymore and they use their phone. Would you go visit the clock man?
Did this guy predict the coronavirus?
In 2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking.
As you can see, the song was uploaded in 2013, and at 1:07 he says 2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking.
In 2020 combined with coronavirus, body stacking.
What do you guys think it is? A weird coincidence, or did this guy really predict what would happen in 2020? And like this video if you want more conspiracy theories.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 21. This photo shows 8-month-old Zhao Bao, who was lucky to be alive because his mother stabbed him 90 times after he bit her while she was breastfeeding him. The world's scariest haunted house, McCamey Manor, requires you to sign a 40-page waiver and undergo a physical and mental evaluation. If you manage to make it through the house, you could win $20,000. But to this day, no one has ever made it through. The little girl who voiced Ducky in The Land Before Time was shot to death by her father, who then committed suicide. Roman Emperor Nero had a boy castrated, dressed him up as a bride, and married him, all because the boy looked similar to his previous dead wife. A 46-year-old man found and attacked a 13-year-old boy because the kid was killing him too many times in a game of Call of Duty.
Before I get rid of the police. What do you think of that, Elle? This is my perfect victory! That's right! I win!
Okay, you won't believe what I found. I just found something extremely dark. If you look at the Texas Department of Criminal Justice website, you'll see death row information. A list of people the government has killed, and you get to see who they are, what their crime was, their last statement, their name, jail number, and even the county they were killed in. Ooh, look, they have career opportunities. Funny thing is, the data is updated in real time, and the last person that was put down was on February 6th, 2020.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew. Part 14. There was a woman in the 18th century named Mary Toft who shoved dead rabbits inside of her and later acted as if she gave birth to them. And the doctors actually believed her until one of them discovered corn inside one of the rabbit's stomachs. More people have tapeworms than have dogs, which I guess makes them the most popular pet Oh yeah, and this is what it looks like up close. So you know how every few pistachios you eat, there's always one that tastes a little bit different? Well yeah, it's because there's a dead navel orange worm inside of it. An octopus's penis is actually one of its tentacles, so if you ever got to pet one at SeaWorld, you might have just groped the damn thing. Dying from starvation is because your body used all of its resources in order to feed your brain. And as a last resort, it begins to digest the muscle around your most vital organs until all that's left is your heart. So you die by eating your heart.
Whatever you do, don't freak out, but this bug lives on your face. Demodex mites dig face first inside your pores. But don't freak out, they're harmless. They just eat your grease and dead skin on your face. But there is one thing you should be worried about. Don't cry, but they do wake up in the middle of the night to mate on your face. Yeah, now you know. But they're harmless. And they live on all of you. Live with it. Like if you want a part 2 of things you don't know that live on your body.
Bone-chilling facts you wish you never knew, Part 9. You feel like falling when sleeping because your heart rate drops nearly to zero, and your brain sends an electric shock throughout your body to make sure that you are still alive. It's actually pretty easy to create false memories. Your mind can make up something that never happened or didn't happen how you remember. At any moment, a nearby star could become a gamma-ray burster, and a jet of radiation could hit Earth and vaporize us immediately, and it's impossible to see it coming.
Haunting facts about serial killers that you'll want to forget, Part 1. After raping his blindfolded victims, the Golden State Killer would be super quiet and pretend like he was gone, and right when the victims would try to untie themselves or go for their phone, he would scare the hell out of them. Jeffrey Dahmer attempted to make sex zombies out of his victims by drilling holes into their head while they were still alive and pouring acid into the holes. American serial killer Albert Fish once cooked and ate a little girl and sent a letter to her parents describing how she tasted. Colombian serial killer Pedro Alonso Lopez raped and murdered over 300 girls. He was in prison for 18 years when he was moved to a psychiatric hospital where they declared him to be sane and he was set free, even though he stated that he planned on killing again. He was released in 1998 and no one knows where he is or what he's doing.
How to Traumatize Children, Part 5. In a 2002 episode of SpongeBob SquarePants, a health inspector visits the Krusty Krab for inspection. Meanwhile, a TV report had speculated that there have been incidents of a fake health inspector, roaming about restaurants looking for free food. Believing that the health inspector is the imposter, SpongeBob and Mr. Krab proceed to present him with a disgusting burger that led to his death. Even though the health inspector is not actually dead, SpongeBob and Mr. Krab proceed to secretly bury the inspector's body in order to conceal their act.
Warning, these are things that you do not want to know, Part 2. Right now, there are thousands of microscopic mites snuggling up on your body right now, and they're so small you can't do anything about it. So if you feel itchy right now, you know why. A lot of people tend to forget this, but spiders can also crawl on ceilings. So instead of looking at the floor for spiders, also make sure to look up because there could be one right above you right now. There's an island in Mexico that's full of hanging dolls from trees all over the island. The place is called Island of the Dolls if you want to look up more pictures. And if you're not following me, this will be in your room tonight.
This is the story of the most mysterious man to ever live. In 1954, a businessman arrived in the Tokyo airport for a meeting. When asked to show his passport, he showed them this one. Initially, it looked legit. It had stamps and pretty much everything that all passports have. But when taking a closer look at, it said that the passport was issued in a country named Torrid. But there was no such country. Officials started becoming suspicious of this man and called Tokyo officers to investigate. The officers asked the man to point to the country named Torrid. He then proceeded to point to a tiny country between Spain and France. But the officers quickly realized that this was not Torrid. In fact, he pointed to the country called Andorra. After the officers told him that he had in fact pointed to Andorra, he got very upset and said that Torrid had existed for over 1,000 years. So quickly, just like anyone else would, they called up the hotel where the man claimed to stay. But they claimed that there was no man under that name registered there. So thinking this man was a fraud, they detained the man in the hotel. He was kept in a room that was very, very high up with no balcony at all. But then something very mysterious occurred. Follow for part 2.
Blood-curdling facts that you wish you never knew, Part 1. When creating the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disneyland, they couldn't create skeletons that looked realistic enough, so they used real human skeletons. Since then, they've removed all but one. Ducks sometimes become cannibals due to boredom, meaning they kill and eat each other. This behavior begins as early as 4 weeks old. Crocodiles are capable of galloping, similar to a horse. Luckily, alligators cannot. And while we're at it, tarantulas can swim. It's extremely common after you die that there will be extreme gas buildup and you will burp after death. And sometimes dead bodies can even sit up on their own. Also, if a pregnant woman dies, the gas buildup in her body can actually forcefully push a baby out. In other words, a post-mortem baby bazooka. Hearing is the last bodily function to go after one dies. So it's very possible that the last thing you ever hear is the paramedic calling off your CPR.
Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. When whales reach a certain age, they will eventually be too weak to swim back to the surface for air, so they will just suffocate to death and eventually sink to the bottom of the ocean. When you die, you will be aware that you are dead until the moment your brain fully ceases function. When getting laser eye surgery, you can smell the parts of your eyes being shaved down. During the French Revolution, where the guillotine was introduced, the people to be executed fought to be first, as the blade would dull after multiple uses, and wouldn't cut a head clean off at the first attempt. If you're male, after you die, your loved ones can have a doctor electrocute your prostate to force you to ejaculate for sperm. Humans have enough bite power to bite off their own finger, bone and all. The only thing stopping us is our brain's natural safety factor. A deceased human body can take between 24 to 48 hours to decompress, releasing the remaining blood, urine, and fecal matter, depending on the situation, position, and method of death. If you die on a submarine, they put your body in the fridge with all the food. If not, up a torpedo tube. It's actually common that corpses will periodically burp, fart, gasp, groan as gases escape through the mouth and anus. When you get burned by electricity, it actually leaves marks shaped like lightning on your skin. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts.